and then we're going to place our back cover. So we want to make sure we're lined up here, and we're lined up here. Come up again through here. You can tie it in a bow and leave the nice bow for the center. Hello, welcome back to Patty Loves Paper. I'm Patty, and today we're going to do the second video in a series of how to make a junk journal. In the first video, we made the cover for 3 different types of material journals. The first one was this one. It was an Amazon packaging. When it started, it was an Amazon brown envelope that we cut in half and folded, and then we covered in brown paper packaging. So we're going to decorate the covers, the inside and backside covers of this one, and then we're also going to sew in a signature. We're going to use the paper today of Stamperia Lilac Flowers. Now you can use whatever you have. You don't even have to use a professional set of papers like this. You can use book pages, you can use music pages, maps, you can use old books that are falling apart. There's any number of things that you can use, so I would suggest you use what you have to get started, and then as you come across pretty papers that you want to add to your collection, start a collection, then I would suggest doing that. But you don't absolutely have to have these types of papers, especially this set, in order to do what we're doing. So this is, like I said, Stamperia Lilac Flowers. It's a beautiful, beautiful set of papers. It's double-sided. There's tags inside. There are some envelopes and journaling cards, a little belly band, just beautiful, beautiful papers are in here. I just love this collection. The colors, these different purples, they're just so very, very pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these up. I'm going to cut all the tags and the envelopes up. I'm not going to do that on camera because I know that you can do that without me, but I'm going to come right back after I cut this out. We're going to cut our paper for our covers about 5, and we're going to go with 5.5 by 7.25 because we want to make it a little bit smaller than our surface. And then our inside, for all of our pages to go inside, we want them a little bit smaller than this, so we're probably going to go with, I would say, about between 11.25 and 11.5. Okay, so we're going to cut the inside and the outside covers, and we're going to cut the pages, and then we're going to sew our signature in. The signature is the section sewn in. You can have one signature, you can have many signatures. For this one, we're just going to do one signature. So I'm going to get that cut up, and I will be right back. Okay, I've cut up all my papers, and I'm ready to start gluing everything in. Now, I have already inked up the edges, and I took some ink. This is Seedless Preserves. It's a distress ink, and I did the inside already, and now I'm going to do the outside of the actual book. Now, a lot of times I use a darker color, but I wanted to add a little bit of the purple, so I'm trying something a little different today. And I wanted to bring out the brighter colors of purple, not the fainter colors of purple that are in this paper pack, and so I chose this color. Okay, so I've already inked up all my pages, and what I'm going to do is I think this is going to be nice for our front cover. We're going to put this to go around our spine, and that's going to wrap around. Just going to wrap around like that, and then we're going to place our back cover. Okay, so we're going to glue that in. And then I thought for our inside, we would, and I just kind of inked this up just to kind of add a little more interest in the center, just to add, most of that's going to be covered, but just to add a little bit more cohesion with the colors. Okay, so that's how this is going to go, and we're going to start gluing this down. I did tear the inside edges. I think that adds a little more interest too sometimes. So I wanted to do that, make it a little bit different. So we're going to take our art glitter glue and we're going to start gluing everything down. Hard to glue today. Remember, we don't want to add too much glue, but we don't want to be stingy with our glue either. Okay, so we're going to line this up. We want to come in just a little and up from the top edge and down from, down from the top edge and up from the bottom edge. All right. And there we go. We can come back over with our spatula. What we want to do is we want to make sure it's really adhered down. We want to push that glue out to the edges. You can always clean up any excess glue. You can see it coming out right there. Push out your excess glue, and that's how you know it's getting all the way to the edges and it's getting those edges nice and secure so your paper doesn't start rolling. All right, we're going to do our other inside cover. Nice amount of glue. Not too much, but don't be stingy. I don't think anything's coming out there. There we go. Make sure we get those ends really, really well. All right. And again, we're going to line this up. A little bit in from the sides, a little bit up from the bottom, and a little bit down from the top. And that looks just about right. Going to get all this glue down. All right. Let's start looking at our front covers. All right, I think we're gonna put our spine down first. I think that's gonna go just like that. And the majority of this is going to be hidden, so we don't want to make a big deal about how much is in the front and how much is in the back. We just kind of want to balance it. But you can't make a mistake, so don't worry about it. pull that in as much as we can to get that nice and snug. We don't want there to be much room when we open it. Okay. There we go. It's got just enough give when we open it. All right, let's start with the front cover. It's such a pretty purple. And we're going to smush all this glue in, get it to adhere very, very snugly. Is that a word, snugly? I'm not sure. So we want to make sure we're lined up here, and we're lined up here. All right. How pretty. It's just so pretty. All right. Now this is a nice quality paper, but sometimes you get thinner papers and you need to really be careful with the glue, because once you start putting pressure on it, the glue kind of weakens the paper and it starts to rip. Like I said, this is a nice quality thickness, so we don't have to worry about that. But just be aware that some of the thinner papers will rip when you start applying pressure when it's been weakened from the glue. All right. It's looking good so far. Let's go with our, let's see, do we want to use the, yeah, I think we want to use the purple side. All right, we'll get started with this. I hope you decided to stay and play with me, and you have your supplies out and you're playing along, getting your journal started. Okay, we're going to lay this one down. Again, we're going to try to match it up. Whoops. Wanted to stick to my hand. All right, let's start really getting that glue to adhere the two papers together. All right, now I think we are ready to add our signature. We're going to do one signature for this book. We're going to sew it in right into the center. So I went ahead and folded all my pages. I cut them the size I wanted. I got a couple of extra pages that did not come with this collection. And then I got some papers that I tea dyed. I tea dyed these, I guess a few weeks ago. And we're going to scatter these throughout. So we're going to start to make our signature. So gather your papers, whatever papers you want to use. And we're going to start. Let's see what we think would look nice. I don't think I want that for my cover. This was the back cover of the packaging. So I think we're going to use this too. We're going to glue, I think we're going to glue this into it. I think we're going to do that. Let's do that right now. That way it can be drying. Let's start with this one. And I try to glue the whole thing down so that there's no air between the two papers. I don't want it buckling up a little bit. I hear my little puppy crying. She needs some attention, I think. All right, girl, just give me a second. So I don't think I got that laid down right. I don't know if we can do that again. Let's try it again. See, there's no mistakes. You can't go wrong. You just pull it up and lay it back down again. So let's see if we can get it to pull up without tearing. Yeah, I think we can. Nope, maybe we can't. Let's see. All right, we got that up without too much damage, and let's try to lay that down again. She wants to get under the blanket, but she wants me to pick the blanket up and put her under it. So she's just gonna have to wait a second. She's definitely a mama's girl. All right, let's see if we can line this up a little bit better this time. All right, my girl, just give me a second. All right, so with this, we're using the back cover, and we're going to use the other half too. We'll put it under another page, but I'll do that off camera. All right. All right, let's see how we did. Much better. We just have this little bit to take off. So we'll take that off, and then we'll get Camille all settled because she is not going to stop until she's under the blanket. So we're just going to trim that off. Alright, we're gonna just put some ink on this one. You don't have to have one of these things. You can have a makeup sponge. I have some of those that I use sometimes from the dollar store. You can get a pack of like 25 for $1.25. And none of these last forever because you're constantly wearing away at that sponge. But so you do have to replace them. So the Dollar Tree makeup sponges are a good idea. All right, let's get Camille in her bed and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Camille is nice and comfortable, hopefully, in her bed, so we may have 5 or so minutes before she hops out and is ready to ask to be put back in the bed. So we just finished using the back cover. We covered it with this pretty light purple paper, but really nothing goes to waste. We'll use everything. This is the other side of it. We covered this in this piece of paper. So this is the back cover and this is the back cover. Nothing goes to waste. All right, so we're going to start putting our pages together. We were looking to see which page we wanted to go first. That's pretty. This is pretty too. That's really pretty. I think I like this one. All right, so this will be our first page. And we're going to try to break them up with the tea-dyed paper. This is regular copy paper, and I just make a big pot of tea. I use about between 8 and 10 Lipton family-size tea bags, and I let it seep for a couple of hours, and then I dip my paper in, and then I hang it outside to dry like it was laundry. All right, let's see. I think I want something with a little more flowery. That's good. We'll put another one of these in here. Well, you'd think I'd be very popular with all that dinging going on. I'm really not. I don't know what's going on with it. All right, so I think this is going to be my signature. Your pages start to push out just because of the thickness that's building up here. If you don't like that, you can cut that off nice and flush. But to me, it doesn't really bother me. I don't mind it sticking out a little bit. Depending on the journal, if I'm doing something that I feel like is real fancy or, you know, kind of special, I may cut all of that off. And before it's over, I still might cut it off. All right, so this is what we're going to do to get ready to sew it in. We're going to clamp these down. Let's just look to see how that looks. I think that's good. I like that layout. Okay, so we're going to get these in nice and tight. And we're going to use these clips and clamps to hold it in place. I use this clip to kind of push it in there real tight and then hold it in its spot. This paper is kind of thick, so I think that's why it's kind of bulky like that. All right, so there we go. Now we're gonna sew this in. So we're gonna take a piece of scrap paper and we're just gonna cut it the length of our journal. This is how I do it. I think I learned to do this from Natasha on Treasure Books, the Treasure Book channel. So we're gonna cut this the length of our journal. I'm gonna straighten that out. Okay. Pretty doggone close. All right, so now we're going to fold that in half. And then we're going to fold it in half again. And right where each of those creases meet is where we're going to put our sewing holes. All right. So we're going to get another clip. We're going to hold that in place. If we can't see it, we'll mark it. Let's fold it and get a crease up the side too. And we'll get our pencil and mark it. So, where are creases? So here's one crease. Here's one crease. And here's one crease. All right, so you see our pencil marks? We have our 3 pencil marks. All right, and you can do this all together. You can put this in here, and push it through, but I think this is a little bit too thick, so we're just gonna do one, and then we'll do the other. So we're gonna hold this down. Okay. Just get that to hold in place. Then we're going to take this owl. It's some people call it a pokey tool, but it's an owl, AWL, I believe is what its official name is. And I just used this little foam pad that was, I think that was packaging too. And now I'm just going to try to get as close to that fold as I can and poke my owl through. All right, and we did pretty good. We didn't get it exactly right, but we got it pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing to our signature, and this might be a little tough because this is pretty thick. I can feel how thick it is. All right, so we're gonna do one, to keep it, holding it in place so you don't make it uneven. The glue is down. Alright, so now we have our 3 holes. So now this is finished. We don't need that anymore. If we were doing multiple signatures, and remember this is a signature, one signature that we're tying in to this cover. If we were doing multiple signatures in this book, we would save this and use this over and over until we have all of our signature holes put in. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I think we're going to go with this color. That look better than this color. Let's go with this one. And this is just a little bookbinding kit. I think this is how it comes. This was mine I put in, but it just comes with some wax thread, a little scissors, a bone folder, and some needles. And you can get that off of Amazon. It's pretty reasonably priced too. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2.5 times. So that is 1, no, we're going to do 3.5 times. 3, 2, and 3.5. So again, we're going to do 3, 1, 2, 3.5. Okay, and that's going to be our length. And we're going to cut that, and we're going to thread our needle. I don't use the biggest one. I kind of use the medium, the next larger size, which is this one. All right, so we'll put these back. And we're going to thread our needle. Let's see how many times it takes to get that done. Did it on the first try. All right. So we're just going to put one side through. We're finished with this. I usually keep a pencil in my box so that I always have it ready to mark my little scrap paper, and I keep my foam in there also. All right, so now we're going to make sure we have our book and our pages right. And it looks like they are. This is all facing the correct way. And we're just going to start to sew this. Now this may be a little bit challenging. You just work with it the best way you can. You can either tie your bow on the outside as a decorative bow, or you can tie it on the inside. We're going to tie ours today on the inside. And sometimes you have to work to get it through. So sometimes I have to take it apart, pull it through here, and then put it through here. Because it's not always cooperative, especially when you're working with very thick paper like this. It does not want to cooperate. Well, let's try it again. There we go. All right. So it doesn't matter if you go with the bottom. We pulled it all the way through. Let's try that again. It doesn't matter if you go with the bottom hole or the top hole, but you always want to go with your center hole first. Come up again through here. And again, through our pages. Well, there we go. Let's make sure we hold on to this time. All right. And now we're going to pull it across. And when we come back, we want this tail to be on one side and the other tail to be on the other. So you want to be watching out for that. So we're going to go through our papers. Go through our book. We're going to get it all nice and tight. Don't worry about that right now. All right. And now we're going to go back through the center. I don't think we got it. I'm going to come through. This paper is very thick, and so we just kind of have to work with it the best we can. Not all of it is this hard. Okay. All right, so now this is where we want one tail on each side of this. And I think I came through my wax, so you want to pull that back out because you don't want to come through this wax. And then I'm going to pull one on this side and one on this side. And now we want to make sure it's nice and tight. All right, so we want to check this side. And it's nice and tight. There's no looseness there. If there was, you just want to tug it a little bit. And you can do a couple of things. You can tie a knot. And then you can leave the dangles and put some charms. Put some charms to dangle down here. Or you can tie it in a bow and leave the nice bow for the center of your signature. Right now I don't know what I want to do, so I'm going to just do a bow for right now. I'm not going to trim it because I don't know exactly how long I want it to be, but if I were going to leave the bow, I would trim these both to about right here. I'd also put a little dab of glue here, but right now I'm not sure if I want to leave the bow or if I want to bring some charms down to dangle, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Now we can take all of our clips off. And we have, basically, our book is now made. Now, we still have to add multiple things. We have to do all of our decorating because we have all of our pretty pages, but they're really kind of plain when you look at them. Not all of them, but this is pretty plain. These tea-dyed pages are pretty plain. Not much going on here. So we want to decorate it up a little bit, add some tags, some pockets, maybe some flips. But this is our book so far. We're also going to want to use make a closure, whether we want to use a ribbon closure or some other type of closure. We want to know, do we want to wrap the closure around or do we want to put an eyelet in and bring some ribbon through and close it like that. So this is going to be the end of this video, and we'll start the next video with decorating this. So let's do a quick flip through of all of our pages. We have a very pretty cover. I really like the way that came out. Very pretty inside cover. I like the way this paper feels. Writing lines, that's really nice. We're going to decorate this page up a lot because it's so plain. I didn't realize I put the two purples next to each other. I'm going to put something nice on this page too. Now that I have this in, I'm not really crazy about this, so we'll put something right here too. There's our center. I should have counted as I was going through, but I didn't think to count. Okay, well, there's our book. I hope that you joined me and you made a book along with me. It's really quite an easy process once you know where to start and what tools and supplies you need. If you didn't make a book with me, I hope you'll rewatch the video and pick up with us on our next one where we start to decorate this. Thank you so much for joining me. Whatever you do, I hope you have a good time doing it, but consider making a journal because it is very relaxing and it really is a lot of fun. Bye-bye. hope you're enjoying junk journaling with me, and I hope you'll join me for my next video. Until then, bye-bye.